Hello, everyone, and welcome to the second episode of 10-Minute Modules. In this series, we like to take a look at the various modules of Catane and try to give you a basic overview of them in 10 minutes or less. As the amount of modules that appears on the workshop continues to grow, it's hard to get in there and get to know them all. So, although this may not give you the most in-depth overview, it should give you everything you need in order to successfully solve the module, and hopefully it's full coverage. But that being said, in our second episode, we're going to be taking a look at Burglar Alarm, a module feared by many, and it's actually not that bad once you get a little bit of practice with it. So let's take a look at what's needed for this mod. Alright, so let's now take a look at what's actually needed to solve a burglar alarm. In terms of edge work, you're going to need basically everything. You'll need the indicators, ports, batteries, serial number, other modules, and that just means is X module on the bomb sort of thing. You'll also need to know if you have special indicators turned on, specific types of widgets, etc. For the skills that you'll need to solve this, there's table lookups, there's basic math, there's rearrangement of rows and columns, so sort of swapping row 3 to row 5 and vice versa sort of thing. There is a speed element as well to this where you will need to solve within 99 seconds. And how it flows is there's the initial read from the diffuser. The expert then has to take a bit of time to do some prep work with that information. Then once that's ready to go, there will be a second read, and as soon as that second read starts, you have 99 seconds to both read and submit the answer. To get started on defusing burglar alarm, there's two key pieces of information that you're going to need to provide to your expert. The first is the 7-digit number located along the top in the screen, and the second is the ingredients located in the keypad along the bottom. It is very important that both you and your expert know what this keypad looks like, as your expert will be asked questions involving the positioning of these items. I recommend reading these out in reading order and ensuring that they understand that it's a 3x4 grid with only one item being located in the bottom middle. To get started on the experting side, you're going to need to do some prep work. You'll need to do a lot of activity very similar to burglar alarm, however there's a few extra steps involved. To get started, you're going to need to take that 7-digit number that your diffuser provided you, and you want to add all of those digits together. Once you get that sum, you're going to take the final or least significant digit and make that your 8th digit. In our example, we got 35, so we're taking that 5 and using it as our 8th digit. Next, you're going to do pretty much exactly what you did with burglar alarm and go through all these true-false tables to get 8 new numbers. Then you're going to add those to the original batch. A few things to point out in this table versus previous modules. There is a check for other modules, so it's looking for clock or Rubik's clock, as well as some food-related modules. It's also very important, as we mentioned, that the order of the ingredients was read properly because there is some comparisons and quite a few of them. Mustard not being in the third row, tomatoes same column as buns, similar to that. There's also an adjacency question that does not include diagonals. That is only left, right, up, and down. And the other thing to mention is something here in number 7 where cheese is below the mayo. This is not directly below, just in a row below the mayo's row. Other than that, most of these questions are pretty straightforward. Just dig through the tables like you would for burglar alarm, get your 8 numbers, and add those on to your original 8 numbers. Once we do that, we will get a result that looks something like this. And we are going to take this result and split it into 4 pairs of 2. And the reason we do that is the first and third number are going to be involved with row swapping. The second and the fourth number will be involved with column swapping. So if we go down, and what I use for this myself is the snipping tool. You can highlight rows, however, there is certain occasions where a double swap will happen, and that sort of makes things very confusing. You can write it down on paper, use spreadsheet, whatever is best for you, but we are going to be swapping rows and columns 4 times, so just make sure that you have something to update that, because this is normally the part of the module that trips most people up. So to begin, we're going to be swapping rows 9 and 5. So 9 becomes 5, and 5 becomes 9. Next, we're going to swap columns 2 and 4. So 2 becomes 4, 4 becomes 2. And actually, we're going to get a double swap here, as I mentioned. So now we're swapping rows 4 and 9. So 4 is becoming 9, but since 9 is now here, not back down here, this is now becoming 4. So you can see if you highlighted it, like a lot of people do, that could cause issues. And we're getting really lucky on the end here where we have 3 and 3, so no swap is actually going to happen there for that final set of columns. That being said, this is your completed swap table, and as long as all your calculations were right, all your prep work is now done. Once the expert has informed you that they are now ready and prepped, you're going to have to start activating the module and providing 5 different order numbers. Once you do this, you will only have a total of 99 seconds for you to provide the information, as well as for them to solve it, so it's very critical that you're both ready prior to doing this. Once you are ready, just simply click the X in the bottom left corner, wait for the timer to begin, and start reading out these order numbers located on the screen at the top. To cycle through them, simply keep clicking the X. There will be a total of 5 of them. Provide all 5 to your expert, and they will have the remaining time to give you a list of ingredients to submit. We will cover this in the final part. Alright, we'll now take a look at the experting side of things and how you can choose your ingredients. So as mentioned previously, the diffuser provided you with 5 numbers. You're going to take each of those numbers, splitting them into a row, then a column. So in this first example, we're going to go under row 1 and column 4, which is actually column 2 due to our swap. Next, we'll go to row 0, column 8. Next, we'll go to row 9, column 3, and again, this is going to be a swap. Next, we'll do 6, followed by column 1, no swap there, and 6 and 7, which is also not a swap. At this point, you're going to need to inform your diffuser of the 5 ingredients in the order that they gave you the order numbers in. You'll also need to inform them, if they're not aware, that a bun will need to be clicked first and last. So you'll do bun, ingredient 1, ingredient 2, ingredient 3, ingredient 4, ingredient 5, another bun, and then you will submit. And again, all this needs to be done within the 99 seconds. Finally, as the diffuser, your role will be to put in a total of 7 ingredients. You'll start with a bun, you'll do the 5 ingredients that your expert provides you, and then you'll do another bun before submitting. Again, all of this work needs to be done and submitted within the time limit. In this example, we're going to generate a new set of orders, and anytime you strike, a new set of orders will be generated. So we're going to do this sort of on the fly here. So we can start with a bun always. You can do this interactively if need be, but I would suggest just giving out the order numbers. It should provide better results overall. And again, you can cycle through the orders using the X as many times as you need to. And finally, as mentioned, also make sure that you always close off with another bun. This particular ingredient is a bun, and then a final bun. Hit the check mark, and that's all you need to do. This is a more difficult module. There's a lot of room for mistakes to be made, but as long as you take it slow and steady and give all your information accurately, a few practice tries should get you going. And that should be everything there is in order to solve a burglar alarm. Again, this is sort of something that will come with practice more so than having natural ability. Doing a few of these, it should become a lot less scary. I hope all of you enjoyed the tutorial and this series in general. If you did, feel free to leave a like below and let me know if you want to reach out directly on Discord or in the comments below on any ways that this can improve or any suggestions, feedback whatsoever. I would really appreciate it. Thank you so much, and I'll see you guys again for the 3rd episode, which I plan to be accumulation currently.